Somehow I returned. Hello guys, this is Good Lake, and I'm back. Maybe. We shall see. A few years back, I made my final video on YouTube, for it truly was looking very, very grim. But as they say, no man can make a YouTube video twice, for he is not the same man, and it is not the same YouTube. Or something, I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. What I can tell you is that in the last few months, I heard good tidings, which is very unusual. Just so we're clear, I'm not trying to say things are great and looking up. No, but there's some good tidings. In particular, the thing that really I liked was the fact that YouTube, I believe, admitted that they've been censoring too many people. Something that I really didn't like and was one of the reasons why I stopped making YouTube videos. They say they're going to try not to do that anymore. I don't know if I believe them, but what the hell, let's give them a chance. Oh, by the way, they started demonetizing people randomly because they started using AI. Of course. One step forward, two steps back, as they say. But technically that's neither here nor there for me. I don't monetize shit anyways, so I suppose I shouldn't. I should just take that as a sign of the times. It'll get better. One day, years down the line, they will stop doing this and do something else. And it will be better, and then they'll come up with another way to fuck shit up. Well, it's life. It's YouTube. Oh man, so many things happened in these years. Like, where do I even start with everything that's different? My wife left me. I lost my job. No. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, but pretty close. I did switch jobs because, well, it's a long story. Maybe I'll tell it one day. But you can imagine. Let's put it this way. They went full YouTube. Never go full YouTube. There you go. Let's talk instead about the good times that I had in these past few years. Well, I don't remember exactly where I left off. You know what? We can look this shit up. We have the power. We have the calendars on our side still. Okay. Honestly, I have no idea where to start because the timelines are weird. But I do know the last video that I made was made on 22nd April 3rd. Yeah, because the Witcher videos, which even came after that, were recorded like 2020, early 2020. Because I remember recording them during the COVID pandemic. The quote-unquote final episode of Death March for The Witcher was recorded and was released on 2020 July. That was around the time. That makes sense. He still has my Twitter Mumkashi that I've deleted 5 times since. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was recorded around that time. I finished editing to the finale, and then I continued playing in the final DLC, recorded everything, and then didn't edit it, apparently, for over a year. This probably tracks with what I said in the video. I think that's accurate. Now, during this year, I played some WoW. That makes sense. I remember making a video about how to play classic WoW, quote unquote. Yeah, I was playing back then. That was on the release. That was 2019. It was a very cold day one day, and I was like, fuck it, let's play WoW Classic. And so I played WoW Classic. It was a very good time until around level 60-ish, when you finish all the quests and you complete everything except like your pre-biz gear and raids, and then you run out of things to do. And I believe I had some crazy good times that I've mostly forgotten, unfortunately, from that time. I have a list somewhere because I kept all the notes. I didn't like delete any of the notes. I kept all of the notes. So, yeah, it was crazy times. But I didn't actually completely stop playing. I kept coming back. The reason I kept coming back is because I wanted to be a paladin tank. Look, I know it's fucking retarded to be a paladin tank in WoW Classic, but hear me out. Since I have never raided anyways, and I didn't actually care if I get into raids anyways, it actually makes sense. Because if you're not raiding, which I wasn't planning to do anymore because I kind of quit before I ever got to that. So where am I going to pull out of my ass a raiding guild anyways? If you're just going to tank dungeons, paladin tanking is totally fine. If you're not in hardcore. I'm not going to talk about hardcore, which is the whole thing that appeared afterwards. But if we dismiss hardcore, which is reasonable to do, paladin tanking is very viable. In fact, just to double down on it, I was like, well, in the off chance that I'm raiding, I'm going to have to heal. So I'm going to make sure that my tanking spec has all the healing talents that it needs. So I made this tanking spec, which is basically 31 points in Holy. And then the rest of points, like, just get some extra threat or some parry or some shit, and that's it. And I started leveling that paladin. I think I quit it around level 40 or something. Again, because leveling a paladin, I leveled it as Holy for some reason. I know that the first 11 points in Holy make perfect sense because you get Consecration, which is literally the only button that you have to press with a paladin, so it makes perfect sense. Yeah, and so I leveled like that, and it was kind of slow and painful. I don't know how the fuck I got all the way to the end. I think ultimately I actually did continue leveling like this all the way to 60. I honestly don't remember. Once again, time's gone past. But the point is, I quit and I came back and I finished leveling the character somehow. And so I started like really thinking, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, how do I make this character like work? The conclusion that I came to is, fuck threat, invest into survivability. I made this gear set that's made out of quest items and dungeon drops. I don't remember how close I got, but I got pretty close to that. And all it does is just get as much stamina and armor and then other stats like dodge and shit as humanly possible. Not even intellect, not even nothing. And you could say, like, how the fuck would that possibly work? Paladins, they're known for losing all their mana. Wrong. The reason the typical paladin loses their mana is because they use it. But you don't actually have to use your mana. All you have to do to keep threat as a paladin is have Retribution Aura, cast one Consecration, and then maybe melee and elite. And here's the thing. All you do on top of that is run Judgment of Wisdom and Seal of Wisdom. That may seem strange. But Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom both regenerate mana. If you regenerate mana, that's actually threat. And it scales off of Righteous Fury, as far as I can tell. And with that much random AoE threat, you will maintain aggro on most things. Now, Baby Skull, maybe not so much. But to be perfectly honest, even as a warrior, good luck maintaining aggro on Skull if people are stupid. That's not gonna work. So nothing unusual happens in that scenario. So AoE threat basically solved, basically never an issue. What do we do about single target bosses? Well, it depends. I mean, if they're kind of like ineffectual bosses that don't do much, maybe you just don't care. Okay, well, they'll run, you stun them. Easy. If they're undead, which there's quite a few undead in the higher levels, in Scholomance and in Stratholme, well, you have Exorcism. And for everything else, I prepared 2 extra special tricks. trick number 1 is the 31st talent in the Holy Tree. Turns out it does holy damage, which is something that is good to do if you're a paladin and you want to tank. So that's my trick. You can even use their special button to make it crit if you really want to, which is very cool. It's a bit of a long cooldown, so it's a one-time trick pony, but you know, on bosses where you really need that extra threat and they're not undead, you can get that. And I also crafted this engineering trinket, which I think it was Gnomish Death Ray or something. And it charges up and does like around 1000 damage, which is not nothing on your target. Now this one isn't scaled with threat, but 1000 damage is usually enough to get back threat if you really need it. I don't think I've used it very often, maybe on some bosses that like to drop their threat a little bit, but it was there, it was cool. The coolest thing about the Paladin, other than obviously using super fast weapon, putting a bunch of Judgments of Wisdoms on everything, and then regenerating all of your mana, was my trinket arsenal. So one of my trinkets was Mark of the Chosen, I believe, which is just the standard kit tanking trinket. But the other one was an open slot where I would put anything that had a use effect and did damage. And I had a lot of those, like Smokey's Lighter, the trinket from Rammstein that did AoE damage. That one was actually really fun. You know that room in Skullman's where there's like 50 zombies? They're slowly gonna kill you and explode. Well, with a paladin, you run in, you do your, you bubble, obviously, otherwise you're dead in the middle of all of that. You do your consecration, you do your holy wrath, but then you can also do a sapper. And then you can also do like a trinket that does up to 300 damage each. It was fun to basically nuke the entire room all at once, almost by yourself. And yeah, the mana sustain with the Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom, very easy. Very cool trick is there's a talent in Holy Tree that extends the duration of your judgments, which means you can maintain multiple wisdom judgments very, very easily, which is what I would usually do. Put a judgment on every elite. And it turns out consecration can trigger that. And if obviously you have multiple targets that have Judgment of Wisdom, then you will get multiple procs of it from using it. And rank 1 consecration is really cheap, but it's still more than enough usually to keep the AoE threat on you. So if you combine all of these toolkits as a paladin tank, you will be totally fine, and maybe even more than fine. You will do pretty great, and you will be pretty effective. To this day, this is the most iconic and fun character that I played, and I played warriors. So, you know, that's something. That says something. I remember dusting off my warrior. I sort of randomly saw a video about fishing and earning money through fishing, and I put my warrior on fishing duty in Bodhi Bay and fished a lot. You can make some decent money, but it's not that impressive. Yeah, well, I ended up leveling like a bunch of characters to 60. I ended up gearing out my warrior tank in Prebis, essentially. Believe it or not, I even joined a guild. Now, I did do that a week or two before pre-patch or something. Very, very late. And here's the reason why. I was playing on my tank warrior, good tank, and the guild leader liked my name. So I immediately said, fuck it, I'm joining this guild. You know, all these other fucking guilds are all like, oh, why don't you join us? We were raided this and this time, blah, 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 blah. This guy, cool name, bro. That's my man. I know I'm gonna have a good time with this guy. Now, to be fair, in the final analysis, it turned out that he had some anger problems. But, he was nice to me, so I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. We did have good times, man. I set myself up as a paladin tank in TBC. The tanky paladin tank type. The main tank paladin. Yeah. During the pre-patch, he took me to the first raid of vanilla, which was a ZG Pug. Oh my god, the degeneracy in that raid. There was like tons of things dropping and everyone was needing them. Like coins and shit. Oh my god, the degeneracy. Oh, just remembering it hurts my soul. Oh god. No. Never again. Ugh. Anyway, first week, we leveled. And we leveled kind of together. Mostly together. It depends, you know. We didn't go hardcore. We had sleep and stuff. So we barely made it, but we did manage to make it in the last day, although it was really, really close. We literally completed the attunement quest and then went to the raid immediately afterwards, although we were straight on time. It was not like we held anything up. We were like, just made it. It was an amazing week. It was an amazing week of like just, you know, epic grind with the boys, as you would say. Although there were also girls, I think, but just a few. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, like on the last day, like the guild leader was kind of starting to give up, and I said, "Don't give up, motherfucker." Okay, I didn't say it like that, and he actually didn't have money for the mount, and you need a mount to get the tuned unless you're a druid. But he was a rogue, because of course he was. So I gave him I lent him some money. He did give it back quite some time later, but the point is, I did lend him some money and said, take this money, buy the fucking mount, and get to leveling. Well, I mean, not quite in that order, because you have to be level 70 first to buy the mount, but the point was, he didn't think he would get it, and so I made sure that he would get it. Yeah, it was quite crazy, because I leveled all those characters. I had enough gold to immediately buy the epic mount and let him borrow, although I was kind of penniless after that. But the second round of questing fixed that real quick, so no problems there. Anyway, it was an insane charge to level 70. We barely made it. We went to the raid with some people. Most people were like some crazy guys with Nax gear and shit. And we raided and we like mostly cleared. I think we didn't kill the Shade of Iran, and we didn't kill Netherspite. Netherspite we didn't kill because we forgot how to do it. Nobody really knew the strat, which is like you have to run away to the other side of the room so nobody gets hit by the AoE or some shit, you know? And we forgot about that. We just stood there, took the damage, and I think we still almost killed it, but the other mechanics got us out of whack. And it was pretty late after all those insane grinds, so it makes sense. Shade of Iran, though, the problem with Shade of Iran was he was kind of bugged a little bit. Don't quote me, of course, on that, but I believe that his AoEs spawned around him instead of around the middle of the room. Like, he has these kind of weird spells, like, for example, the blizzard that goes around him. And the motherfucker, you would run away, and then the blizzard would start spawning somewhere, like, in the middle of a fucking rune or some shit. Also, the paladin tanker was completely useless in that encounter, so it's kind of healing, quote-unquote. And overall, it's the most hectic encounter, probably, of the standard set of bosses. Anyway, yeah, we came back week 2. I think we cleared everything. I don't remember how soon we cleared Ninebane. It's been a while. It's been a while, boys. It's been a while, I don't remember. At some point we went to do Gruul with 25 people. I joined like someone else's raid as a tank, and they tried to make me tank the boss, but I wasn't crush capped because my gear was still terrible. Like week 2, my gear was still terrible because I've been like questing instead of doing dungeons for the most part. And so it was like, it was a bit disastrous, to say the least. Ended up not working out so well. After that, things get a bit hazy, because there was some guild drama, unfortunately. And So the guild ended up kind of disbanding, with the few people joining a different guild with the guild leader. And unfortunately, the guild leader picked a bit too sweaty guild, so I really didn't like it anymore, because I don't like sweaty guilds. The way I liked it is when we invited a couple of random people and they were just talking about how they were drunk the whole raid and telling stories. We were just chilling, clearing things, not caring about efficiency, taking, I don't know, more than 2 hours to do Karazhan, oh no. And that was so chill and nice, and I enjoyed every moment of that. And then we joined this sweat guild, who was like, oh, we gotta make sure we pull these mobs and go around them in this particular angle so we don't pull extra mobs. And everyone's like trying to pull out as much DPS to one phase everything as possible. And just, I could have still sort of kind of done that. But then they were like, hey, it's PTR, it's tier 5. Everyone should come on PTR, because we want to train how to do the bosses on SSC. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. That is stupid and a waste of time. Like, I'm not competing. I just wanted to play the game. I just wanted to kill some bosses. Oh no, we would vibe a few extra times for real. Oh no. Oh, the shock, the horror. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, I just basically, at that point, pretty much the guild leader as well kind of stopped playing for the most part. So I was like, it's over, boys. So I quit before tier 5. We did kill McTaradon with that group. Yeah. Pre-nerf McTaradon. We can do better than pre-nerf McTaradon. I'll tell you something later. Anyways, that was the end of TBC. Or was it? There was something else on the horizon. Something brewing that was completely unexpected. And if you paid attention to the channel, which I presume nobody would do that, why the fuck would you do that? I've been actually appearing on YouTube videos, just not my YouTube videos. These were the videos made by none other than Master Eric, or in YouTube he's known as Art of Gaming. Anyway, this guy, just listen to this. Here's how he plays the game. He's been playing since the launch in 2019. He records for 1 hour and puts that shit on YouTube every 2 days on average. That's it. Can you even imagine playing a game like this? Can people even imagine playing for 2 hours? Sorry, for 1 hour every 2 days. I can't even say it properly. That's how insane this is compared to like the average person playing the game. The average person is like, oh, we gotta get a level 60 week 1 or some shit. And this guy is like, TBC is coming out. He's not even like 50 or something. I found his videos at around 260 or 70-ish. Today, or at least tomorrow, one of these days, is going to release video 1100. He's still playing. He's still going. Started watching him because he doesn't know anything about the game other than what people tell him in the comments from time to time, myself included. And it's a journey, man. It's like a real true let's play blind experience, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. Now it's mostly beautiful in the early parts of the series when he's playing through WoW Classic, because that's the objectively best version of the game. Get fucked if you disagree. But as I was watching it, I had a diabolical idea. Since I wasn't making videos anymore, I could just make a character where this guy's playing and then show up on his videos and help him and stuff. So basically, I turned into a stalker. I had to meticulously reverse engineer which server he was playing on based on context clues or something. He probably posted it somewhere. I don't remember. Maybe it was in his first video, or maybe you can see the server name when he disconnects in some video or something. I don't know. I don't remember how I did it, but I knew. And then I had to figure out when he played using nothing but the in-game clock, which I don't know if it's set to local or the server time. And it could be AM or PM, you don't know. Well, it turns out he was playing at around 3 to 4 a.m. my time, because he's like in America or something, and I'm in Europe, and so that was amazing. It's a bit of a problem. Well, it's a bit of a problem for normal people, not for me. For me, this is an opportunity. Mining the night for content? Perfect. So I set out to start waking up at 3 to 4 a.m. Yeah, because of daylight saving shenanigans. Man, boy, are there shenanigans. Did you know daylight saving time happens at different times in different places? So there can be places where if you find out what the difference in time is for like a week or maybe 3 weeks, for some fucking reason is going to be different for those weeks because the daylight saving time is different. Well, I learned that. It was very fun. Anyways, the point is that yeah, I literally started waking up at 3 a.m. just to stalk this guy. And believe it or not, I was successful. I appeared in video 494 for the first time. And somehow or other, I convinced this person to allow me to play with him for the next 20 months. You hear that right. Yes. For 20 months, I would wake up every day at 3 a.m. I would wake up at the same time for the sake of not fucking my body rhythm too much. But the point was every other day we would play together WoW for an hour every 2 days. And it's all on video. You can go see it for yourself. I have a playlist, a bridge playlist, which basically has half of the episodes. Instead of all of them, if that's what you want, and you can go see for yourself the shenanigans that we've been up to. Literally leveled the character with him from 70 to 80 through all of Northrend. It took 8 months. It didn't take 8 months to get day. We got the 80, I think, by Valentine's Day. But to finish all of Northern Quests, it took 8 months. And then we did some engineering, then we did old world content. We did some raids, which were just completely out of the left field for me. It's like, yes, fuck it, let's go do Molten Core and BWL Duo. And AQ40 and stuff. Yeah, it's beautiful, amazing. Anyway, it's not like I was playing only that. I was also like playing other characters a little bit to help. For example, I had a druid character leveled up because there is a TBC boss in a heroic that can only be summoned by druids. And I thought, what the hell, if we ever do this heroic, which we did, I'll bring the druid and then we can experience it, because it's content that you would otherwise never have any chance of experiencing the way he plays. He's still Gildas, by the way. Jesus fucking Christ. I thought I was obstinate about this sort of thing, and oh no. Just goes to show there's always someone in the next league than you. In everything. Anyway, the reason it took 20 months is because after all that time, Cataclysm came out, and I already had decided from the start that even if I stick around for the series, I'm gonna leave with Cataclysm, because fuck Cataclysm. And I stand by my choice. There would have been literally nothing for me to do in that entire part of the series, because there are no elite quests anymore. Basically, anything that's elite, you get help for, so it's not really elite. Dungeon Finder already exists, so there's no meaning in having a tank or a healer to help you or whatever. Basically, I would have been more of a prop at that point anyways. And I also hate Cataclysm. And everything beyond Cataclysm. Although, to be fair, I only played a little bit of Mists of Pandaria, so there's not much to hate. But I do hate this. I do not want to play them ever. Under any circumstances. Not enough money in the world to be paid for me to do it. Those were good times, though, with Master Eric. Don't ask why I call him Master Eric. If you want to find out, you'll have to watch the series. It's beautiful. That being said, I think that wasn't the only thing I was doing. I also played a little bit Season of Mastery. One of the characters that I don't think I leveled to 60 in the original run of the Classic was a priest. So I thought, what the hell, I'll level a priest to 60. And I did in Season of Mastery, but it was really bad in Season of Mastery. There just wasn't that many people, and somehow I didn't find any like interesting people to play with. I can't quite easily explain what I mean, but you know, there's when you play WoW, there's sometimes people that are fun to play with and people that are not so fun to play with. It's a bit of a spectrum, but broadly you can have these two categories. So people who are fun to play with are like, you know, people who like sociable and immersive. How about that for a word? You play with them and you're having a good time. Master Eric playthrough was actually kind of like that. Although, you know, in that sense, it was immersive for completely different reasons. But let's not worry about that. You can have some fun and play around with these people. And then there's these people that are really not fun to play with because they're kind of like... The way that I like to put it is they are min-max worshippers. To them, min-max is everything. If you steer away from min-maxing even a little bit, you're in their target and they're gonna fuck you up or something. They will not stand for this. They will not stand for anything less than min-maxing. So if like a Priebus drops, that's Priebus for them and it's not for you, you're not allowed to need on it. And if you do, even if it's an upgrade for you, they're gonna fucking scalp you, leave the group, and blacklist you or something. People like that, like, they're really not fun to play with. I like to think of them as the worst players of the game, which is funny because as people who would be quote unquote min-maxing, they sound like they would be the best players of the game, right? But actually, they're the worst players of the game because they're not even fucking playing the game. like the game is actually a role-playing game. You're supposed to play the role, and I'm not talking like you're supposed to go full cringe, you know, into like these Shakespearean style English role plays or anything like that. I mean, you're just supposed to kind of play and chill and be like, you know, part of a team and stuff. Like, it's supposed to be like, at the end of the day, a sort of collaborative experience where everyone's doing stuff and chilling, having fun. And they're like, no, I must grind my Priebus list. I must hard reserve things if I'm the leader, because, oh, it's so hard to be a leader, to invite some people into a group. Oh, no. It's definitely so hard that I deserve the best items in the game that everyone fucking wants, and that's the reason why they would want to join my party in the first place. Definitely that hard. It's that hard to be a leader. There's no other benefits such as having your own fucking group composition that you want, or being able to call the shots or kick anyone that you don't like if they're a piece of shit. No, those are not benefits. The loot is the real benefit. Anyway, in Season of Mastery, I just didn't meet that many people that didn't meet that criteria, which kind of makes sense. Season of Mastery was already past the point of the normal, classic cycle. So, and it was advertised as being harder, like raids having additional mechanics. Not that I would know. I never got into the raids. Once again, I got to 60. I got all my shit sorted out. I got like 666 healing on my priest setup, and I quit the game on immediately because there was nothing to do. I was guildless. I didn't even get any invitations to guild at all. That's even crazier. Right? Maybe I got like one at level 10 or something. But like throughout my entire game, nobody cared. Most people, I don't want to say like there was no one to talk to or everyone was terrible, but like if I had to say on average, it was not a good experience. Maybe I just got really unlucky. There was another brief moment when I came back to WoW, other than playing with Master Eric, which is, I wouldn't call it a comeback per se. It was an experience and a special one. I will remember this forever. It was good times, but like playing WoW as in like for myself, it did happen. And it happened in 2023, June 21st. It was July, my bad. It's probably 21st, maybe 26th, honestly. Who knows? Anyway, there was this private server coming out. Now, I was not a big fan of private servers. And the reason for that is because I'm autistic, to some degree, I guess. And I read the rules of the private servers, and they triggered my autism. Basically, like, I read the rules and I say, this rule sucks and it's retarded, so I'm not playing. It was something like, well, if you see someone exploiting and you don't report them, then you are going to be an accomplice. Like, fuck you, man. So now I have to, like, go and look around at every single person to make sure that they're not exploiting so that I don't get banned just because I'm not paying attention. Fuck that shit. But at the end of the day, you know, the reality of these rules are, you know, they're only as... They're there basically. They're like terms of service. Nobody actually cares about them. And if the server admins want you banned, they will ban you for no reason anyways. So rather than worrying about that, I guess like at some point my autism got cured because that's the conclusion I came to on my own. Somehow, just one day I was like, no, actually, like, why do I give a shit? It's like, are they gonna ban me or won't ban me? It is what it is. And so I said, fuck it, we'll try a private server. And the popular server at the time was Felmist 3. Now, Felmist had a bit of a history. It got cease and desisted, and then had a secret launch. But obviously that didn't go very well. If you're already on a private server, that's already hard to get people. If you also do a secret launch, you're not going to have any people. Well, they tried again, and it was a relatively hyped up server. Not without drama. But there were at least like 1,000 or 2,000 people playing, I would say, which, you know, for TBC is more than enough. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. I believe we had... The server basically was dead in about 3 weeks. It was still playable after that. You could play, actually... The server didn't go anywhere. I'm just talking about the people. What happened was around 1.5 weeks into it, there was a rollback because some dipshit was modifying the database or something, and that was noticed kind of late, so they had to roll it back a little bit, and that set back a lot of people's progress. Now, you were allowed to get back some of that progress. Like if you lost like money and items, you could say, hey, give me my items back, and they would give you your items back. In my case, I think I lost a mount. I got my, I don't remember if I got my mount or money for the mount, because I was around level 40 at the time. At that point, I was an enlightened private server player, even though it was my first private server, so I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm just gonna play anyways. Unfortunately, that wasn't the same for the other people. And then more or less the amount of players dropped to like hundreds range after that. And seeing the dramatic drop in the population, the admin decided to do the unthinkable. It was a PvP server, but it became, I don't even know what the word for it is. Basically, you could start grouping with people on the opposite faction. It was still a PvP server. If you were not grouped, you could still PvP. But if you grouped, you were considered friends. We're French. And everyone's like, nope, we're not doing that. And they left en masse. And after that, there was like basically like 30 people left. And it happened while I was away. I went away for like a few days, you know. I come back and the server's gone. It's like empty. Everyone's quit. To be perfectly honest, probably, you know, it was just more so the camel that broke the straw's back. Okay, sure, whatever. You get what I mean. It was just the drama and the rollback and all the and now these decisions that people I don't think many people wanted that just basically made everyone lose confidence in the server. So that was the end of that little adventure. This was still during the time I was playing with Master Eric, so it was whatever, just a few weeks of some fun. But that was not the end for Felmest. Next year, these mad lads, and this was now in 2024, so after Cataclysm launched, so I was no longer playing with Master Eric, they come up with this absolute unit of an idea. What if we do this again, but this time, no add-ons? Not even bag add-on, not even like anything, like no add-ons. God damn. Now that's an idea. This was Felmest 4, also known as Skull Crusher, another private server, essentially. And I played it on it again because of the no add-ons. It was like, yes, perfect. I wasn't going to play, and I was like, oh, they're reopening Felmest, but it's probably not going to go very well, and whatever. And then they hit me with the no add-ons. Oh my god. I can't miss something like this. This is an experience just waiting to be experienced. And boy, was it an experience. Oh my god. I played on that server for like 10 months until the day where people collectively decided to quit. Let's just say it had like a few hundred people to start and probably 30-40 people for most of its lifetime. Which is insane. At some point, all of the Horde characters re-rolled Alliance. Why, you ask? I don't know, but if I had to guess, it was because I was Alliance. Now, before you say anything, let's make it clear. I dedicated myself to this server as much as I dedicated myself to Master Eric, at least. I was like, I'm gonna try to make this work. And I made, well, what you could call WoW friends, which means we talked a lot during the 10 months, and I've never seen them since. And it's been so long now that I've even forgotten their nicknames. God damn it. I haven't forgotten my nickname. No Discord. That's right. At some point after the fiasco in the TPC era, when I quit the guild, I was like, man, Discord sucks. It's also a censorious piece of shit just like YouTube. And since I'm stopping YouTube, fuck it. I'm also stopping Discord. No Discord. I have never had a Discord account since, as far as I can remember. And I refuse to make one. They don't like that. You really can't join anywhere Discord if you don't make an account. They really don't give a shit about you not having an account. And so I'm like, I don't care. I'm not using Discord with an account. Fuck you. And so to drive the point home, I made my character in the private server called No Discord. And yes, despite the fact that there were no add-ons, which makes the game much harder, I still raided with people for 10 months while not having Discord. And at some, you know, at times I could use people who were streaming the server. I could use their streams as a sort of pseudo Discord listening proxy, so I could hear the Discord that came through their stream with a delay. It was beautiful, but eventually all the streamers quit, so it was down to people who were less interested in streaming things on Twitch. People like Chuck Bronson. That's right, I remember Chuck Bronson. I just remembered, but I do remember. I probably can't remember anyone else. It's been too long, man. But if I saw the characters, I would remember, oh yeah, it's that guy. You want to know the best thing about that whole experience, which was insanely crazy? The guild that lasted the longest was the guild that I helped make by signing and then being kicked immediately afterwards. That's right. I was one of the founding members of the people who made the guild, and one of the rules of that guild was you have to go into Discord and introduce yourself. So obviously they kicked me because I didn't do that. I just signed the petition. But then somehow I found my way back into it, and then somehow that guild was the only guild that remained on, and it was the Alliance guild, so everyone came to Alliance, and it was so yes, it's beautiful. That's all I want to say. This is exactly what I wanted. But it had to come to an end because some people were going to take vacation, obviously, and we barely could get 25 people. It wasn't even always 25. And our gear was shit because it was based off Patch 2.0. Patch 2.0 items are shit. That I can attest to. I've seen them. I've worn them. I used them. You can kill the bosses with them, that's fine, but they're just not very good. That was the end of that. In 2025, Felmist announced another server. They called it Kael'thas this time. They didn't even attach Felmist's name, I think, because they're worried, I guess. But as far as I know, not that many people played. It had like weird rules this time where add-ons were allowed, but only if they were 2.0 add-ons. It's from like a whitelist, essentially. You can only use these add-ons. And I'm like, that's too complicated and just not very cool. It's just not very cool, Gummy. So I didn't feel like playing. Instead, I went to play on Project Epoch. Now, the reason I played on Project Epoch was because when I was playing in Felmist Skullcrusher, I met this guy, Loba. And this Loba guy was a drama queen. But what he did say is that he will play in Project Epoch. He really hyped up Project Epoch because it was still like, even at the time it was known. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? Project Epoch's coming out. Let's have some fun with it. Maybe I'll meet Loba. Little did I know the disaster that would be Project Epoch launch and then subsequent reacquisition by... I don't even remember. Anyways, that did not go well. I think I leveled my character to like level 20. I leveled with 50% experience, so it's not bad. Like 26, I think it was, and that's still quite a lot at 50% experience, but do keep in mind they had like double the quests in every zone. It was quite crazy. Unfortunately, a lot of quests didn't work. The reason I quit fundamentally was, there's sort of dual reasons. The first reason was a lot of the quests didn't work, and they were mostly like these sort of quests that either had objectives that just wouldn't spawn, or they clashed with layering technology. So you know, like in Ashenvale, there's these escorts that go from Dark Shore to Ashenvale, and then from Ashenvale to Dark Shore. And neither of those works, because as soon as you hit the boundary between zones, it goes to a different shard, I think was the word used, a different shard. This was actually implemented in Classic as well, I believe. You could see how that works if you used Farsight outside of the zone where you were in, nothing would spawn. Which isn't how it worked originally. Originally, back in the day, you could Farsight all the way from Ironforge to, let's say, the Badlands. I've done that. I've literally done that to go take a look at what's going on in Badlands. For reasons. Because you go to a different shard, you lose your NPC, because it stays in the original shard, and then it despawns, and then you fail the quest. And that happened everywhere. And to make matters worse, some areas had shards just for reasons. For example, Ratchet, the town Ratchet, had a shard of its own, which meant you couldn't complete the Horde escort that starts all the way, like, you know, south from Ratchet and goes through a load of shit, and then you just fail because it has to conclude in Ratchet, but it's in a different shard. It sucks, and I was still kind of willing to deal with that because I was hoping they would fix it. I don't know what they did. Didn't stick around to find out. I quit because they merged the servers. Originally, they created 2 servers. I think it was Kazan and something else. And I went to the something else server because Kazan had stupid queues. And it was very nice and chill. But then they, for no reason, while the servers were still both relatively active, merged them. It felt like a very disorienting experience for me. And I felt like I don't really want to continue. That was like the last straw for me. It's like, fuck this. Like, it's like, I just want to play the game, man. I don't want to deal with all this random bullshit where things just suddenly change. Suddenly you go from a normal server to a overpopulated one. For no reason. There was no reason. The server was still pretty active. And I never met Loba. Who knows? Maybe he never even played. Or maybe he quit after the first failure fiasco. We'll never know. We'll never know. Anyway, Kael'thas continued. Maybe continues to this day. I'm not sure. They're not very active. They don't post much in the forums. Who knows? But there's a new MMO by the people who made Kael'thas. It's called Dreadmist. Very similar to Felbest. I have no idea what's going on there. Like, I heard that they stealing assets or something. Some people claim that they just bought the same assets, but I'm not so sure about that. Something don't feel right. In any case, it's a free game, so technically, who gives a shit, right? I wouldn't give a shit, honestly. Let them, if it's a free game, let them have all the assets. As long as it's remixed sufficiently, which I believe it is, it's a game of its own, so to speak. I don't know. Somehow, I just didn't feel in the mood for playing it. I was in the mood for playing something else. And that's where we come back to the start of the video. I'm back, and I've got a series recorded. I need to edit it. It's cooking. And hopefully it'll be fun. One thing that I want to do is try out some cool AI shenanigans to maybe add some flavor, let's call it, to the series. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe I'll try it and it'll be shit, so I won't do it. Maybe I will do something. We will see. I'm gonna do some stuff. I don't know how active I will be other than the series. I don't have any plans. Okay, I have one plan. I have one really stupid idea. But we'll see how that goes. It's pretty fucking stupid. Let's not worry about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We'll see what happens. Anyways. That's really about it as what I've been up to. And that's what to expect in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.